This is not new drop. This is the old drop. I have the mediums. It's like 6 to 7. Okay, okay. I like a small or a short inseam short, man. They're comfortable, and I think they make your legs look better. Like at this stage of my life, there's no doubt. Like you gotta show knee at a minimum. Shorts that are like below the knee. No disrespect, I'm sure we got people in the audience that are like wearing them. But like, what are you in Good Charlotte or something? Or like, are you part of the Generation X? Like Kevin Smith type. What am I doing? Kevin Smith type short, Adam Sandler type short. Exactly. Exactly. What are you at the NBA draft going 6th overall to the Charlotte Bobcats? I would also like, again, showing knee is a minimum. I would also like to show a little bit of thigh. So I feel like it's the same with like your sleeves, right? Like you wouldn't want like a 3/4 sleeve in most situations that doesn't even show like your elbow and it just looks like you got like a little Lego forearm sticking out. You want to get like a little, you want to show a little bis and tris, you want to show the elbow, and then you want the delineation of the forearm after it. Same thing with the legs. You want to show a little bit of the thigh, then you get the knee afterwards to put some contrast, and then you go into the calf. You get to compare and contrast. Who's getting drafted first overall in the NBA tomorrow? That's tough. I'm going to say Victor Wembanyama. Victor Wemba. Again, I don't. I've never seen a game of basketball, I think, but he does show up a lot on my Twitter feed where the only thing that shows up is basketball related stuff. So, how does he know? How does he know that Victor Wembanyama's going to get drafted? You know what I'm talking about? Enchanted. I've never seen it, but it comes on in the car all the time when we're on the Hot Disney Hits playlist. It's a pretty good one. Why is the Letourneau family Disney pilled? My wife is Disney pilled. I'm only pilled Disney pilled when it comes to their resorts and other vacation amenities. Otherwise, I just have it on in the car because it makes my kid not cry while we're driving down Oak Street. If only I could play something that makes me not want to cry. I will say I learned a little trick for you. Well, for me, I don't know if it'll work for you because every kid's different. When I listen to my own music in the car, my daughter says, I don't like this song. What I started to tell her before every song is, oh, daddy really liked this song when he was your age. And then that seems to at least open the door to her being like receptive to it. And I know you're going to say, like, I bet it doesn't work. I'm telling you, it works so much better than you would expect. Oh my God, it's the best bed I've ever seen. We were bumping some Merriweather Post Pavilion yesterday. Before every song, I was just like, oh, daddy really liked this when he was 2. Open up your throat and let your, and she was like, she was loving it. Or at least tolerating it. I also feel like, and this is honest, I feel like I have an obligation because she listens to so much like complete ass music because she's 2. Like I'm not judging her. It's just the way that it is. That like I have to also Just put a little bit of spice into her media diet. Just some stuff that's like a little bit more just some stuff that's a little bit more challenging to listen to so that she doesn't just get used to being spoon-fed hooks like all the time, you know? Play her some, you know, Heartbeats by the Knife or something like that. Like, yeah, sure, like it's not like it's an overly complicated song, but it at least introduces her to the concept of the marimba. Gives her a little bit of... You know what I'm talking about? Fantasia, that's Disney. No kid of mine is gonna grow up asking what their country can do for them instead of what they can do for their country. No kid of mine is gonna grow up listening to classical music, okay? Help me. You know what's a great song? The Portlandia theme song by Washed Out. It's not called the Portlandia theme song. I'm sure it's called something like, you know, watching a sunset on the beach on a family vacation with your parents when you're 11 or something like that. Feel it all around. There you go. That goes hard, man. There's something about it that, like, it evokes a nostalgia that didn't otherwise exist. It's easy to evoke nostalgia when, like, you know, a song comes on that you liked when you were 12. Because you have, it's real nostalgia. But to create nostalgia out of thin air, that's impressive. That's like some Willy Wonka stuff right there. Same thing with like Beachcomber by Real Estate or like Suburban Dogs by Real Estate. That's what I want to hear whenever I see that Peloton has an indie rock ride, but inevitably it's just like one song by Phoenix and then like Take Me Out by Franz Ferdinand and 6 songs from iPod commercials. Help me! 100 songs by the Killers. And I don't mind the Killers, but like... Come on, man. How many more times can I listen to Somebody Told Me or Mr. Brightside? At least give me like on all the things that I've done. Even like I'll take a Jenny Was a Friend of Mine. I don't even think the song is that good, but I like the part where he goes, Jenny was a friend of mine. They should do a 30-minute pavement ride. Dude, I would go hard on a 30-minute pavement ride. The whole leaderboard would just be like 18-year-old Mew posters and like 42-year-old dads from Stockton, California. I feel like I should jump on this bed, go to the elevator. I don't need to... No, that's not necessary. That's a speedrun bed. We can take the safer path instead and get to the elevator with very minimal risk. It's a risk v reward calculation here. Remember, like, this is like... It's probably... Call again! This probably isn't it for Only Up, but I'd really like to beat the game today so I can play Final Fantasy 16 tomorrow. And I've only got till noon, because at noon we're playing some BattleBit. So, like, I have to... If I don't beat it today and I haven't fallen, then I gotta leave the game on for, like, 2 days. Because it doesn't save. Have you seen a speedrun of this? I have. Actually, my wife told me she's been watching Ludwig's speedruns. Your wife watched my speedrun on the way in. Now look at you. At dinner last night, she put on like a Ludwig speedrun, and he was at a part of the game I've never seen before, and I said, you need to turn that off. I haven't been there yet. And she said, are you joking? And then I said, no, I'm not joking. Like, I'm not going to be a pre-watcher. And then she said, I thought you beat it. And I was like, you know, we don't have to start saying things that are hurtful now. Like, that's just ignorant. You haven't even gotten halfway? That's simply false. I have made it to the Rainbow Bridge. I made it pretty far. I don't know how far that is, but that's past halfway. Why don't I just take the chopper? I'm not speedrunning. We don't need to try to take that bed. You haven't though? I'm pretty sure I have. I've been to like heaven 20 times. Oh, you don't take the chopper, that's right. That's about 80%. Well, they're right. It's not even halfway. Even halfway is 50%. You ever think about how messed up it is that any number times 2 is an even number? I know you're like, it can't be real. I'm telling you, it is, man. It is. You're like, what about... Obviously, like, 11 times 2 is 22. That's an even number. I know you're thinking, I'm going to get him 17. Sorry, brother. That's 34. That's an even number. Go ahead and try it. Any odd number you multiply by 2. Any odd integer. Any odd integer. I don't consider 1.5 a number. That's a decimal. It's two different categories. So true. Hang on, I have to focus a little bit. That's okay. That's not bad at all. Of all the places to fall, that's not bad in the slightest. Write a short Java program to prove it. Fucking for left parenthesis. I don't even... What are the 3 arguments you put into a for loop? I'm cooked in programming, man. Data type, starting point, and then the amount that you incremented by every single time. For integer, I equals fucking less than infinity. I starts at, I guess let's start it at 1. We don't want to have our computer waste like a clock cycle starting at 0 and trying to divide it by itself. Things that sound smart but are actually just nonsense. It's been a bit. He starts at 1? What's wrong with starting at 1? What, would you start at 3? Or would you start at 0? Start at 0? You don't need to start at 0. 0's not a real number. It's a 0. Oh, no, wait, because that's the... Never mind. It's been too long. I gotta go. They're gonna kick me out. I have to give back my associate's diploma. Whatever. I'll just tell ChatGPT to do it. It's gonna give me back a picture of Bart Simpson with like an 11-inch dick. Like, ChatGPT, what are you doing? He's gonna be perfectly centered in the frame with like a pastel filter over it, like Wes Anderson. He's got a bush. Don't even get me started on the Akira Kurosawa Lord of the Rings, man. Okay, this is where things get content ID match. Ready? Okay, I think we're okay. There's not no sound. It's just very quiet. The computer can still hear it because it's just ones and zeros. That was the number of blubs from The Little Mermaid. Do you think they had a real discussion when they were making the new Little Mermaid about whether or not it's okay to use the Jamaican accent in Under the Sea? Because I've heard it. It comes on the Disney Spotify channel sometimes. Daveed Diggs did opt to go with at least a slight Caribbean accent. But I wonder if there were like, I wonder if they had him sing it straight up American style once. And then they were like, it sounds a lot better with the Caribbean accent. But I don't think Daveed Diggs is from the Caribbean.
I think I forgot to turn off the kettle at home. I need to go back. Or whatever.
He did fine. I mean, I don't think it's as good as the original, but, you know, I haven't seen the movie. I'm just merely talking about Under the Sea. You've always got an uphill battle when you've got, like, a beloved classic like that. Why do they keep making the animals photorealistic? I'm a big hater of the Disney live-action movies, for sure. It's just like, I can almost give them a pass. Not that they need it, because like they tend to do pretty well at the box office, but I can give them a pass for the movies that are like 50 years old, even though they're remaking them to just like they're shot-for-shot remakes of the animated versions. The idea that maybe they're modernizing them, there's something to that, I guess. But, like, you gotta be really cynical about the Moana remake, right? Moana came out, like, 6 years ago. Like, it's only... Obviously, like, they're all being remade for money. But that one's, like, nakedly remade for money. Because the original movie is, like, still new. It's, like... It's not even a decade old yet. Disney didn't want to, but The Rock pushed them? Wait, what do you mean Disney didn't want to, but The Rock pushed them? He's just a guy. Dude, our hands are tied. I know we have like a $130 billion market cap, but The Rock wants us to make it. The Rock, star of many movies that were recently box office poison. Did you hear? The Rock rizzed up Disney. Baby Gronk will be playing the chicken in the Moana remake. At LSU, yes. What's for breakfast at Cozy? Help. Wait, he was here yesterday? This game is like, you know, real life. In real life, if you have like the greatest day of your life at work, congratulations. Be here at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Run it back. Start it all over again. What did they do to us? I was about to get, I don't know the exact quote. I thought that there were monsters on the earth, and my first thought was, I don't have to go into work tomorrow? What did they do to us? Hello, Invicta. Hello. Here we are. Invicta, this is spoilers for Only Up. So if you're ever going to play it, be careful. I know you only play easy games like hardcore Diablo 4. Oh, man. Wahoo! If aliens invaded tonight, would there still be a stream tomorrow? I'd probably take one day off. For sure. I think it would, like, I think it would obviously change my life if aliens existed, but it wouldn't change my life as much as it would change the average person's life. But I would still need, like, a day or two to, like, digest the knowledge and think about the implications. But then I think I would just come back and be like, whoa, aliens. And then what else am I going to say? Isn't it crazy that there's aliens? Like, I'm not going to say anything that you're not going to be thinking already. If it's an invasion, if it's an alien invasion, I would probably fight back against the invaders. Because unlike my country being invaded, if the aliens invaded, I got nowhere else to go. It's not like I'm going to go, like I'm not getting on a homemade rocket and going to Mars or something like that. Like at that point, my hand's kind of forced. If aliens only invaded British Columbia, though, my ass would head south. I just hope that they'll take my ass in Bellingham after all the fucked up shit that I've said about how ass it is. Just kidding, mostly. Although I do think that they got too many highway on-ramps. Like, they ever consider, like, halving the number of on-ramps that they have on the highway, considering the town has, like, 100,000 people total in it? Why does it have, like, 19 highway on-ramps? Like, it doesn't make sense. How do I know which ramp to take? My ass gonna end up sequestered in Mount Vernon. 2 grocery stores. And the Tulip Festival. Okay. Dude, we made it back to Hogwarts. It's best not to think about the jumps. Like, let your brain stem do the programming, and you just ensure you're in charge of, like, regulating your own emotions here. Book of the Dead. When you're at a restaurant, do you ever order the cheese board? Absolutely. Charcuterie board, one of the top appetizers if multiple people at the table want an appetizer. If only one person wants an appetizer, it's not appropriate, I would say, but certainly for a shared appetizer. For dessert, some kind of cheese board, absolutely. People thought, I mean, this is an old NLSS argument. We've all changed a lot since then. It was like, what's your favorite dessert? I said, if I'm at a fancy restaurant, I like to get the cheese plate rather than something like, you know, like a tart or a cake or something like that. Rest of the call just like lit me up. Now, I'm in my mid-30s. You guys are probably like in your early 40s now. Could you apologize to me? I wasn't talking about going to the Cheesecake Factory and getting like some sliced cheddar cheese for a dessert. I was talking about going to a nice place. Zanzibar. I was on your side from the beginning. People weren't ready for the take, man. They weren't ready for it. Please consider adding this emote. I'm sorry, I can't alt-tab right now, macros. But also, I added an emote today. I already added downvote, which is Malf with his avatar beard. Hang on, we're pawn skipping. It's a pretty good one, right? And the best part is you can use your channel points for something productive and you can flip it. Or maybe it's not channel points. Maybe it's just like jQuery. And you can make it an upvote. So if you agree with what I said, you can make it an upvote instead. Give it to me straight, chat. Has Dan ever made it to this part? No? Not even close? He's been playing it for like 2 weeks. Give me the signal, I'll post again. Okay, once we get out of Only Up, I'll take a look. I don't even remember this part. That must mean it's really easy. He thinks the air balloon is the end? He thinks the... Thank you. He thinks the up house is the end of the game? That's like 10% of the way through the game. Oh! I forgot about the T-Rex. I'm okay. Oh, man. Not much, dog. What's up house with you? Okay, the maze. The maze. Just make it to the glass floor. Never. The mighty, mighty maze tones. The mazy, mazy boss tones. There we go. You ever think about it like this is... It seems like cheating to do a maze like this, but this is kind of how we do mazes with like a pen and a paper. We have a top-down view of the whole maze. So true. By the way, I didn't even mention this. This is kind of like a little mini anecdote from the cruise. We were out on a boat, obviously, but like this was not the cruise ship. It was a secondary boat, taking a look at a glacier in Alaska. Middle-aged woman in front of me on the boat. I swear to you, God is my witness, she was doing a word search. Like, not a crossword puzzle. She had a book of word search puzzles, and she was just ripping through them. Based. I go, yeah, I guess she's earned the right to do whatever she wants to do in her leisure time. But I was like, it's like, what's the point, man? Keep your brain sharp? Well, like, you could do some crosswords or, like, some Sudoku or something like that. But, like a word search? I hope they were hard word searches, at least. Like, I hope they had diagonals and backwards. Word searches are fun. And they're, like, okay. They're fun when you're like 7 and you finished your multiplication worksheet and then your teacher doesn't have anything for you to do. So she's like, here's like a Valentine's Day themed word search. When your teacher's like hungover or something, but somebody else has already signed out one of the 2 televisions in your middle school. I guess they would have to sign out both of them, otherwise she could just take the other one. So maybe I'm not as smart as I think I am. Maybe I'm not as think as you drunk I am. Okay. This was like where we spent most of the stream yesterday, and quite a lot of time off stream as well. There were a lot of good days in school, right? When your teacher says tomorrow there's going to be a movie, that's a good day in school. Pajama day. There's some irony here. I was never that into like hat day or crazy hair day, but pajama day, you feel like you're breaking the rules when you show up to school in your pajamas, man. Smoothie day? We never had smoothie day, but like now and then we would have like a milkshake day. Reed's Dairy would do a huge delivery. They had vanilla. They had chocolate. I know what you're going to say. Let me guess. Third flavor, strawberry? Nah, nah, nah. Third flavor, orange. And people went crazy for the orange flavor. Banana? It would have been nice, but no banana. Yeah, that's right. There's some great vibes in school, too. The last, like, month of senior year of high school, at least in Ontario, is a vibe. You've already figured out what you're going to do for the next year. You've already been, if you're going to university or college, you've already got your acceptance letter. So the only way they're going to rescind it is if basically, like, you shoot a man to death. You could pretty much... It's basically just like, oh, what have I done? That's fine. That's not that bad. You're not... I wouldn't say you're in the prime of your life, but you're in that unique period where you have... Most people at least have relatively few responsibilities and the highest level of freedom that they've ever had. You might even... You either have a car and a driver's license, or you got a friend who has a car and a driver's license. Someone's older brother can pick up a six-pack of truly hard seltzers, and then you and 12 other people can all get drunker than you've ever been in your entire life. We were just 16 and it felt so right. Sleeping all day, staying up all... Nah, if I could... You know what I'm talking about? Not really. I think it's Yellow Card. That's Yellow Card. Banger song. It's the only Yellow Card song I know, but... It's crazy my... I was going to say my uncle. He's not my uncle. He's my brother-in-law. He tells me that, like, you know, my niece is 12. Which is really young. But when you're a parent... 12 seems a lot different than when you're 12. Like, when I think back to when I was 12, I was playing Lemmings on the school PC. I had bleach blonde hair and oval glasses and just looked like a fucking disaster. But I was, like, still a kid. But as an adult, you're like, holy cow, my kid is going to college in, like, 6 years. And he was telling me, like, all the private schools... like private high schools that he's heard of all have problems with like kids in like the 9th and the 10th grade doing hard drugs. Like sophomores in high school like getting caught doing cocaine and stuff like that. What the hell is a 13-year-old doing with cocaine? I guess I shouldn't laugh, but I'm just like, what? Like, I didn't even have my first alcoholic beverage until I was in my first year of university. And that was still like, you know, year and a half before it was legal, but still. Thankfully, nobody was coming up to me in the 10th grade and being like, here's some cocaine. Isn't this shit like grown in South America and then like shipped in a glass bottom boat to Mexico and then like smuggled across inside of like old mattresses or something like that? How does a 13-year-old get their hands on hard drugs like that? That's insanity. And also, what are they doing? I mean, it's just like, if you're watching this and you're around that age, do not do cocaine. You're 13. It just doesn't like make sense. You probably shouldn't do it like ever, maybe, I don't know. But like if you're a Wall Street stockbroker and you're out partying until 4 a.m. and you got to wake up in time for like the bell, then I guess I understand that like you need something to keep you going or to get you started. But like, you're 13. You're eating lunch at like 10:45 a.m. Like what's it just seems crazy to me. Okay, old ass. I've never done it, so I did like I'm I guess I'm thankful, you know. It would only take like a few things going different as like a kid. Maybe I'm friends with somebody just because our houses happen to be next to each other and the adults have kids that are a similar age. That kid goes on like a foreign exchange one summer. He comes back. He's addicted to cocaine. He grew a mustache. He's got a gold chain and a Hawaiian shirt that he keeps almost unbuttoned except for like one button. So you can see like a little tuft of gray chest hair coming out. And then my life could be completely different. I could be living like in Miami right now. I'm just like, man, my kid is only 2, but it's not like that long until they're 12. I better not catch any 12-year-olds doing cocaine at my kid's school. Or you'll catch me pulling up. I'll be like, stop doing cocaine. You're 12. That's crazy. I don't know. I'll come up with some better rhetoric by then. I mean business. A decade is a long time. It's like a long time, but it's not that long. Like, here's the thing. It's going to be here eventually anyway. I'd rather be prepped for it. I've never had to knock on wood. So true. Or I've never had to, comma, knock on wood. I'm trying to think, like, at my high school, it seems quaint at this stage of society. There was, like, a Ritalin selling ring. I don't even know if Ritalin is, like, still a thing. All I ever hear about is Adderall. But, like, some kids who had gotten... That's BS. Never mind. Never mind. Some kids who had gotten like Ritalin prescriptions for their ADHD didn't take the medicine and then they were selling the pills. And that's like, that was a pretty big controversy like at the time. I don't think anybody was like, you know, trafficking black tar smack or anything like that. Maybe, I don't know. Who's your Street Fighter main? They're not in Street Fighter 6. So I can't play Street Fighter 6 yet. I'm Sea Viper. I'm not against the quarter circles. I'm very much scammed. I'm very much against the half circles in Street Fighter, but I love a Z. A Z input is what it's all about, man. Almost made it. But I'm never gonna play it. I'm just telling you sincerely. I hold the keys to my own happiness. I know that my own happiness involves not tricking myself into playing a fighting game. Il Duomo. True, I got tricked. Mathis got tricked. That's what's and he's gonna be offended that I said this because he's still like in his I love Street Fighter. Maybe I'll get good at it phase. Maybe I'm not trying to. I'm not saying this just so I can say like I told you so. Eventually something will stick, right? Maybe this will be the fighting game that it sticks on. But I'm like, it's just when you get it's the value proposition once you get older is like. I'm not even saying you got better shit to do, but you got like shit that you have to do. I feel like the best way to get good at fighting games is to like mainline them when you're like 16 and you don't even know how much free time you have. So just like you accidentally put like 5,000 hours into fighting games, and then for the rest of your life, whenever a fighting game comes out, you have like a built-in advantage. I've only ever been able to use that for fucking tape to tape, man. You know how sad that is? I played so much NHL growing up. There's no transferable skills to other games. I'm alright. Il Duomo? I'm okay. Kind of works with FIFA too. Daigo's 42. Yeah, but he didn't start learning when he was 39. He started learning when he was 3. Like it's like, oh, LeBron James is 38. Yeah. When did he start playing basketball? Probably like 38 months.
The sword of Damocles. Well, yes, the stress and the responsibility and the constant.
Now, when did he pick up the guy's glasses that got knocked onto the court and then put them on and then look at the camera like Wicked? That's when he was 36. Also, not everyone is as good as Daigo. That's huge if true. Imagine if I landed right back in the... Oh. Oh. Please. Oh. We were close there. Now, on the ice, you just send it. That's a send. Okay. Now, on this one, maybe I should just go fast. Hey, okay. Ah, Le Tour d'Eiffel. The Danish. Obviously from Brussels. Not quite a fork, not quite a spoon, but something in between. A fopoon. Delightful. It's like Go-Gurt, but to stay. That's a classic. I'll have what I'm having. I don't get it. It's from Key and Peele. I'm farming +2s on the shoulders of giants. Everyone relax. Hey, what's the worst song of all time, and why is it Graduation by Vitamin C? I think that it's a song that's so bad, it doesn't even show up in like the worst songs of all time list because people forget that it exists. I don't know this song. As we go on, we remember all the times we had together. And as our lives change from whatever, we will still be friends forever. Came out at the perfect time for my high school graduation in 2006. What do you mean that song came out in like 2001? Your ass should have had like 1-2 Step by Sierra or something like that. We still use the Green Day song. I don't remember what my high school graduation song was, if we even had one. I don't know if this was it. All I'm going to say is that I'm pretty sure I graduated from high school like the year or the year after Photograph by Nickelback came out. And that strikes me as like a very obvious graduation song if you live in Canada, which I do and did at the time. Mine was probably Nookie by Limp Biscuit. That'd be a great graduation song. I came into this world as a reject. Look into these eyes. I know I say it every time. One of the great moments in art history, when Fred Durst says, look into these eyes in the Nookie music video, and then Wes Borland with his fucked up contact lenses that are like pitch black does like a, and looks it right into the camera. I'm like, oh shit, I am looking into these eyes. And I'm seeing the size of the flame. Who said Nosferatu, man? That'd be a pretty good song for your high school graduation. Or you could do Don a Man. Don walked on stage. Bring, 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 bring. He had the 4th highest average in his graduating class. Enough to be a nerd, but not enough to get an award. Bring, 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 bring. Bring, bring, bring. It could work. Cotton Eye Joe, another certified hood classic, no doubt. Whoa. What about Summer Girls by LFO? I think that song is okay. I think that's an ironic, good song from the 90s or the early 2000s. I wouldn't hit next if it came on shuffle. 100 gifted subs to jump off right now. No. Get out of here, kick. I'm not interested. What about Roundabout? Dude, that would have been an they should just use that for graduation every year. But the thing is, I turn off the song as soon as somebody says, is this a JoJo reference? People who watch anime like, I'm trying to make the vein pop out. I'm really straining for it. Okay, someone said, I just hope we get back to Japan today. We made it. This is not as far as we've ever been, but we're definitely getting close. What about And You and I? Great song, but honestly, don't take this as an insult. Yes, fans. Close to the Edge has 3 songs on it. It's 91 minutes long. And You and I is the worst song on the album. and it's probably still a 9, if not a 10. Close to the Edge is an 11. Siberian Katru is a 10. And I would say NUNI comes in a distant third, but still high up there. Siberian Katru, a 7? A 7? Are you kidding me? That's a different song. That's Dueling Banjos or something. Bring, bring, bring. It's like 100 instruments. I can't make all those noises with my mouth. Even Siberia goes through the motions. Hang on. There was yakety sax on a banjo. How did you know? Fruit salad. Yummy, yummy. Did you know the Wiggles temporarily had their own theme park in Australia? Defunctland Viewer spotted. Good for them. I got nothing against it. I never knew that the Wiggles were that popular. I don't think they made it to Canada when I was Wiggle aged. I don't normally go here. I go